But in March, after a decades-long fight, a federal court ruled that Anna Nicole Smith's estate is not entitled to $88 million left by Smith's late husband, billionaire oil magnate J. Howard Marshall.
The ruling essentially meant that Dannielynn, who's the sole heir to Anna Nicole Smith's estate, would not get any money, and we're talking a lot of money.
Now, in an effort to raise money to support her, Dannielynn's father, Larry Burkhead, is set to sell off some of the ex-model's memorabilia at an upcoming auction in Las Vegas.
Larry Burkhead is here along with his sleepy daughter, Dannielynn. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Mentioned before that you were out last night seeing Mary Poppins, so she obviously had a good time.
Very good
and
time.
Is sleeping in this morning. It's been over 3 years since Anna Nicole was found in that hotel in Florida. You gained custody of Dannielynn after a rather drawn-out custody battle with her attorney, Howard K. Stern. You sort of thrown into this role of being a single dad. What has this been like for you?
Well, it's been a wild ride, but you know, I'm settled, and you know, there's always drama, there's always headlines, there's always things that pop up, Anna Nicole, and it, you know, keeps the memories kind of fresh and things. It's kind of hard to move on, but we're happy, and you know, she's happy, baby, and tired but happy, but you know, and we're moving ahead.
What is day-to-day life like for you guys?
Well, you know, she's like any other kid, you know, except there's a lot of attention on her, and we try to do the play dates like any other family. Sometimes it's difficult, you know, people pop cameras up and do things, but we have a house that I just finished in Kentucky, and she's going to start preschool soon, and hopefully have a quiet life and as normal as she can, and just be happy.
Yeah, she's going to start preschool soon, which means she's going to start asking a lot of questions, if she hasn't already, about her mom, where her mom is, what's happened. What have you told her about her mom?
Well, originally, you know, you try to be as child-friendly as you can.
Yeah.
And at first I started with, you know, Mommy's in the clouds, and then now we're graduating to Mommy's in heaven. And you know, she has these play dates where she sees other kids with moms. She sees cartoon characters with their mothers, and she, you know, she's curious. And right now we just keep it as friendly as we can. And the road, you know, when she starts school, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, and I think, and that's when I'll turn to some expert help to, you know, help me. I've never been through a situation obviously like this and magnitude, and I just do the best I can with the knowledge that I have, and I, you know, and support from friends and family, and they try to help me and guide her.
I was going to say, because Anna Nicole's life was at times extremely complicated and very troubled, and those are things that are documented, that she at some point she's going to see it or wonder about it, or somebody to say something to her.
Luckily, she's not Googling yet, but
yeah,
you know,
right.
she's you know, she's just still a kid, and there will be the time when she, you know, she'll learn things that about her mom, but you know, again, they're not all bad things. Her mom was, you know, a great, you know, individual, and she was, you know, she did a lot of things for charity. She was happy. She loved kids. She loved, you know, even though she met a tragic death, she loved life, and there were many things that they're happy things that I can tell her about her mom.
You know, over the course of the past 3 years, Larry, you've been criticized from time to time for being on the cover of a lot of magazines, being a lot of the entertainment shows, particularly in the beginning. Saw a lot of you with your daughter. Do you think you were unfairly criticized? Do you understand where that came from? Well,
I mean, you know, I guess everybody's going to be criticized for something, and I don't think that I think there was such a soap opera, and there were so many people that were rooting for one person or another, and there was a ton of interest, and so to me, I try to find a balance of, you know, allowing people's curiosity to be met, but also at the same time shielding her. I think I've done a great job. You don't see her nearly as much as you do other celebrity children. She's, you know, rarely anymore seen, and you know, and that's why one of the reasons why, you know, we travel back to Kentucky and kind of a safe haven where you don't have all of that. But you know, yeah, I just realized that you're going to get criticized for something at all times, so I just do the best job I can do as a father.
You also travel to L.A. a lot, you said, because you're still dealing with the estate on a constant basis, and that means you're dealing with Howard K. Stern, who is the executor. Now he has been charged. He's going to go to trial for, he's accused of supplying the drugs that killed Anna Nicole. Do you feel he should continue to be executor? Is there anything you can do about that?
Well, you know, at this point, the estate's moving along as, you know, as needed, and at some point, if there's any reason why he shouldn't be, or if he's, you know, I think that, you know, he's been charged in the media as being guilty already, and I think that he and the doctors have their day in court, and if it leads to something else other than, you know, not guilty, then I think that time we address it. But at this time, you know, we have a working relationship where, you know, he has Dannielynn's best interest we had the paternity struggle, but then on an estate level in business, he actually has become a friend, and at this time, I don't think that he had anything, to do with Anna Nicole's death, obviously, but
you don't.
I don't, and I think some of his interest in her might have clouded some of his judgment as far as the paternity battle and resolving that whole issue. But I think as far as if anyone were ever to tell me that he would harm Anna or Daniel, I would say, you're crazy, because that basically was his life and still is to this day. He's still working for the estate, still doing things. He's still working with, there's a lot of things in the headlines about this judgment, and they're continuing that whole fight on into the Supreme Court as far as
So
I
you're
know.
standing by him, at least for the time
Well,
being.
if I've been a witness, I've cooperated with the authorities, and I've told them everything that I know, and their attempts to try to build a timeline. But if that were to lead to something down the road, then I'm open-minded as far as that goes. But at this point, I've seen nothing to the contrary, that he would do anything to harm them.
And when we come back, we're going to show some of the items that you're going to be auctioning off of Anna Nicole's to help raise some money to go to Dannielynn in part.